Before we begin today's video, I'd just like to let everyone know that I've recently reopened my GoFundMe for brand new sound equipment, so if you'd like me to have cleaner and crisper sound, then consider donating to my GoFundMe today in return for awesome rewards. Thank you. Howdy folks, Jamboriki here. Last year I reviewed the 1996 film The Adventures of Pinocchio, but a lot of people seem to forget that that movie had an official sequel called The New Adventures of Pinocchio, and that's the film I'll be taking a look at in this video. After Pinocchio ditches school all day, he comes home late to find out that Geppetto has fallen ill and won't recover in time for an upcoming project deadline. So Pinny and Lampwick ask carnival performers Volpe and Feline, characters from the last movie who were turned into animals, to take him to Madame Flambeau, who has been advertising a magic curing elixir. In order to pay for the elixir, Pinocchio and Lampwick agree to sign a contract to work for the carnival. Unfortunately, the elixir transforms Lampwick into a sea donkey and morphs Geppetto into a puppet. It turns out that Flambeau is actually Lorenzini's widow. Plus, she knew who Pinocchio was and was expecting Pinny to drink the elixir himself. Despite the setback in their evil plan, Flambeau forces Geppetto and Pinny to be a carny act. Their performances are such a big success that they attract the attention of the prince. It's then later revealed that Flambeau is actually Lorenzini back from the dead, and has been using his own elixir to stay alive. I went into this film expecting either a weird so bad it's good sequel, or an interesting next chapter, but it's neither. The filmmakers had the opportunity to make a strange spin-off to one of the most bizarre fairy tales ever written, but they ended up delivering something pretty mundane. To begin with, the movie doesn't really explore Pinocchio's new life as a real boy, or how being a former puppet affects him as a character. Sure, people will bring it up.
Why do you look familiar? Were you ever in show business?
Well, kind of. He used to be a puppet.
But it doesn't really matter in the long run. Pinny has no difficulty adapting to human life, he has no struggles in his human body, and he never faces any traumas from his last adventure. Being a puppet only becomes relevant to Pinocchio when he turns back into one in the finale, which leads to this completely out of nowhere existential crisis.
I was made from this tree. I wish my papa had just left me here. I really hate being a boy. I don't deserve it.
Yeah, something to be said for being a tree stumper. Kind of uncomplicated.
Where was this internal struggle before? Why couldn't the whole film have been about these feelings of existentialism? Why only bring it up when the credits are coming?
What is real and what is pretend? Papa, is my real nature a boy? Or am I just a puppet?
The movie also wants to get a bit dark, like the original book, but it doesn't embrace its horror that much. The movie's creepier moments are either held back or ruined by goofy slapstick.
Something's pretty funny.
Yeah, your face.
Yes, this is a kids movie, but don't forget that even the House of Mouse got a bit dark with Pinocchio. Although, the scene where Lorenzini's real self comes out goes quite hard with the Cronenbergian body horror, but we have to wait all the way until the end of the film to see that. The storytelling is very meandering as well. There's quite a lot of pointless scenes that don't add much, like a whole scene where Madame Flambeau tries to eat a human that's been turned into a fish, but she doesn't get to eat it. The minions trying to make their own elixir, only to be stopped, and a part where a bearded lady makes a giant fart that goes nowhere. Seriously, I thought that this scene would lead to the carnival tent being neatly rebuilt in time for the prince's arrival. That's my biggest issue with this film. It's so boring. It's a talking puppet movie set in a colourful carnival, but hardly anything ever happens. Now, sure, the main focus of the film is Geppetto becoming a celebrity and letting the fame go to his head. However, even that is pretty underwhelming and lacks dramatic weight. Firstly, the film did a poor job hinting at Geppetto maybe being fame-hungry or desperate for success. Sure, he was overworked, but he seemed happy and proud to put in the handcrafted labour.
I love puppets, and I love you.
So it's really weird how quick he is to become this vain, shallow theatre star who neglects his son.
Today, we're performing for the prince. Oh, your highness.
Papa, snap out of it! Lampwick needs us!
Of course he does, son. Everybody wants a piece of the star.
Papa!
Secondly, Geppetto is really chill about suddenly becoming a puppet. Sure, this shows how laid back he can be in life, but it also drains all sense of urgency. The more Geppetto downplays the seriousness of the situation, the less we as an audience have a reason to care that it gets fixed.
Well, we really wowed him tonight, huh, son? I'll bet you never knew your own man had such happy feet.
How can you be so happy? This is a nightmare.
Thirdly, I get that the film is trying to have Geppetto go through his own Pinocchio story. I understand that angle, but he doesn't go on any adventures like Pinocchio did. He just spends the whole film smelling his own farts in his dressing room or lying to reporters.
You've been before the king?
Without a doubt. And the queen. Many, many times.
How about the picture of Florence Wrigley?
Things only actually start getting eventful in the finale, but that's when the movie becomes too busy, and the audience is battered with one thing after another. There's a puppet kidnapping, business politics, Pinocchio's existential crisis, Lorenzino revealing himself, the puppets being threatened with a bonfire, and then Pinny finds a door to a secret cave that holds the elixir's ultimate source. This is a film where nothing much happens for the first hour, then too much happens in the last 20 minutes. Okay, let's be fair now, what things about this movie are actually good? Well, Udo Kier is brilliant as Madame Flambeau. It's a terrific drag performance. He never seems embarrassed or uncomfortable to be in a dress. He has a real dedication to the role that helps the Flambeau act pay off.
Do you love me? Yes! Does Madame Flambeau disappoint her fans? No! And she will not disappoint you today.
He replicates his same slimy malice from the first movie, but also adds this feminine diva touch.
On second thoughts, I think today I'll have sea donkey.
No!
Be sure to cook him for an extra long time.
Oh, please.
Little boys are so tough
I'll perform.
unless they're cooked for a long, long time.
Warwick Davis also steals a lot of scenes, because, well, he's Warwick Davis. He's so dang good at playing prancing, whimsical characters, and totally nails the role of a carnival barker. Though his accent keeps flipping between British and Italian sometimes.
Find your way to Neptune's underworld, where strange sea creatures defy description. They're all here. They're all real.
At first, we're unsure why his character is so supportive of Pinocchio, but his green fashion sense and habit of pushing Pinny to do the right thing are clever, subtle hints to the big twist that he's really Pepe the Cricket, who unfortunately suffers from having the same bad 90s CGI as before.
Pepe, it's you.
Who else? Pugnatio Elucusio P. Elegante, in the flesh.
Now, we did get a Blue Fairy-esque maternal character in the first film, but technically she wasn't really the Blue Fairy. This sequel makes up for that by introducing Blue. She's not the archetypal Blue Fairy, but rather this ghostly figure that pops up now and again. I kind of like the idea of the Blue Fairy being this riddle-making spirit of the carnival that haunts Pinny.
Spill the cream, reveal the dream. Surprises come in weird disguises.
Why are you looking at an empty store?
I did also notice how the film wanted to have a lesson on not skimping things you work on, especially during a time period where technology was starting to advance. It's one of the only things in the film that remains consistent throughout.
Well, life is filled with riddles.
Exactly. And it's a lot better to try and figure out life's little puzzles than to look for a quick remedy.
True. You can't fix your troubles with a magic potion.
No, you can't.
You see, Geppetto is adamant to give his own handmade love to his puppets, no matter how much time it takes.
This is the age of steam, Papa. Life is about doing the least amount of work for the most amount of money, not the other way around.
No. Life is about doing what you love.
Heck, Madame Flambeau fits really neatly into this theme too, because she uses magic as a way to force labour from others to make a carnival a success.
Dance or turn your father into firewater.
Now, you can really tell that this sequel has a lot less budget compared to the original. Everything looks cheaper, tackier and faker. Saying that though, I'm thankful that the movie is using the same puppets again. These Jim Henson workshop crafted dolls are the main reason to watch this franchise. They have believable wooden textures, but aren't over-realistic to the point where they hit the uncanny valley too much. The downside is that this sequel's puppetry isn't as charming or inspired as the first film's. It's not bad puppetry, but there's a lot of corner cutting, characters don't get to do much besides flap their mouths, and there's no risk taking or experimenting. It's all very stilted.
No more aches and pains. No taxes to pay. Don't have to brush my teeth or take a bath.
Have you lost your mind?
I think this is mainly down to the uninspired writing though. You can have S-tier puppets and hire the best puppeteers in the business, but you still need a decent script to give said puppets heart and spirit. So yeah, to be fair, I managed to find a decent balance of good and bad in this film. But overall, it made me yawn a lot, and I even took a nap halfway through. There was a lot of potential to the idea of a Pinocchio sequel, but this film barely even scratches that potential. It's full of pointless scenes, poorly developed ideas, and anticlimactic moments. So, those are my thoughts on the New Adventures of Pinocchio. Have you seen this movie? If so, what did you think of it? Don't forget to also like, share, and subscribe. I've been Jabberiki. Cheerio, folks.